you guys, and welcome back to Hot Girls Eat Carbs. I'm your host, Brittany McChrystal, and I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're walking your dog, doing your skincare, cleaning your kitchen, or just lying in bed having a full life reflection moment, this is your cozy corner of the internet where we chat all things health, wellness, and sustainable weight loss. Okay, so before we dive in today, I just wanted to give a quick little life update because it has been a minute. So I'm back in Thailand now and I'm locking in for the rest of the year. Europe was such a dream. I ate so much good food. I drank so many good Aperol spritzes and I soaked up the sun, laughed my head off with my best friends, and it honestly just filled my cup in every way. But in saying that, I was so ready to come home and get back into my routine and to see Josh because I literally missed him so much while I was away. So Josh is actually prepping for a fight in Malaysia next month, which is really exciting. So he's super focused and I'm just matching that energy by diving into my coaching and giving my girls everything right now. We actually have a challenge coming up, which is going to be really, really excited. So I can't wait for that to be launched. But I'm just in this really grounded, productive era and I feel so clear on what I want for the rest of the year and what I want it to look like as well, both for myself and my clients. Also, oh my goodness, the countdown is officially on because I am turning 30 in a few months, which is absolutely wild. I still feel like I am 21, honestly, but I am so excited. I've actually got about 15 of my closest friends flying from all over the world to celebrate with me, which is crazy. I never thought that would ever happen. And my mum is coming over from New Zealand with her best friend, which is going to be really special. We've actually hired this amazing villa and we're just going to have the best time ever. So I cannot wait. But that's just a little update of what's been going on in my world. And if you are loving the pod, it would mean so much if you could take a couple of seconds to rate it, leave a little review, or just send it to a friend who needs to hear it. Every share, every message, every little bit of love honestly means the world. And it helps this podcast grow and keeps me showing up here for you week after week. And I'm so grateful that I have this space with you. It feels like our little safe corner of the internet where I can talk all about the real stuff. The mindset shifts, the wins, the setbacks, the food, the body image, literally all of it. And speaking of the real stuff, today's topic is one that I feel like I have to talk about. And it is why most diets fail and what to do instead. Because honestly, it's actually not your fault. You've just been taught the wrong approach and one that's based on restriction, shame, and extremes instead of real life, real food, and sustainable habits. So I want to unpack that properly with you today. So let's just call it like this. Most diets don't actually fail because you're lazy, unmotivated, or not disciplined enough. They fail because the structure of the diet itself is completely unrealistic, like genuinely unlivable in the long run. They ask you to cut out all of the foods that you love. No pasta, no wine, no carbs, no chocolate. Like, okay, cool, but then what? You white knuckle it for 2 weeks, maybe 3, and then the second real life hits, like a birthday, a stressful day, a late night craving, you slip up and suddenly it feels like you have ruined everything. And they teach you that progress only counts if it's fast, that success means the scale dropping every week, and that if you're not miserable, you're probably not doing it right. And that mindset is just so toxic because it convinces you that any detour means that it's a failure. And failure means that it's starting all over again. It just keeps you stuck in this endless loop, like an all or nothing, restrict then binge, motivate then burnt out. I see it all the time. And it's actually not even just with weight loss. It's like so many different areas of their lives. It's like women who are driven, smart, dedicated, doing meal plans or challenges that are way too restrictive. They're training 5 or 6 times a week, eating like a rabbit, constantly thinking about food, and they still feel like they're failing. Not because they're doing anything wrong, but because the approach they've been given doesn't actually fit their life. And that is the problem I see with so many diets. Because you can be so committed, ticking all of the boxes, giving it your all, and still feel like you're getting absolutely nowhere. And it's not because you're actually failing, but because the plan is setting you up to fail from the start. And the worst part is when that kind of plan stops working, or when you fall off, or when you gain the weight back, you just blame yourself and you think that you weren't disciplined enough and that you weren't strong enough. When the reality is, it was never about willpower. It was just about sustainability. And if the way you're losing weight can't be maintained in real life with travel, social events, PMS, holidays, and bad days, then it is just not the right plan for you. So let's stop blaming ourselves for broken systems. Let's stop thinking that we have to suffer our way to results, because the truth is, there is a better way, and it's actually built around your life, not against it. And this is the hill that I will absolutely die on. And if you've been around here for a while, you already know what I'm about to say. If you don't enjoy the food that you're eating, you are not going to stick with it. And if you can't stick with it, then honestly, it doesn't matter how perfect it looks on paper. It doesn't matter how technically low carb or clean or whatever buzzword someone slaps it on. If it's not enjoyable, it's not sustainable. Because the thing is, food is more than just fuel. It's culture, it's connection, it's memories, and it's pleasure. It's dinners with your partner. It's takeaway nights with your best friend. Aperol spritzers in the sun. Chocolate on the couch watching Netflix. Birthday cake, breakfast dates, mum's lasagna. We cannot build a lifestyle around deprivation and expect to feel good in it. Enjoyment isn't some bonus add-on. It is literally the entire point. When you enjoy your meals, something shifts. You stop obsessing over the next snack because you're satisfied. You feel empowered and in control rather than restricted. You stop labeling food as good or bad and just start focusing on how it actually feels in your body. And you get to live a life where still progressing towards your goals, and that is where the magic happens. Because the truth is, the way that you lose weight is the way that you're going to have to keep it off. So if your current plan is just dry chicken, steamed broccoli, no snacks, no carbs, and no social life that revolves around saying no to everything, then how on earth are you meant to maintain that for the rest of your life? You don't need a meal plan that drains the joy out of eating. You need a way of eating that works with your life, not against it. You need food that lights you up, feels satisfying, supports your energy, and still gets you results. And yes, you can absolutely have all of that. You can lose weight and still love your meals. You can eat carbs and still feel confident in your body. You can go out for dinner and enjoy every bite and still hit your goals. You don't have to choose between food freedom or fat loss. You just need the right approach, and the one that includes pleasure and progress. Because the second your meals start feeling like a punishment, you've already lost. And let's make them feel like a real life. One of my favorite things to do is to recreate your favorite meals at home. This was honestly one of the biggest game changers, not just for fat loss, but for your entire relationship with food. And it's something that I teach every single client. You don't have to give up your favorite foods. You just have to get smart about how you make them. Because let's be real, you're not going to eat dry chicken and soggy green beans forever. And you shouldn't have to, because that's not a lifestyle. That's a countdown to your next binge or blowout. But the better strategy, take the foods that you actually love and find ways to recreate them in a way that fits your goals. If you want a burger, amazing. We'll use lean mince and some melted light cheese, toast a lower calorie bun, and throw in some crispy sweet potato fries. Craving pasta? Let's go for more high protein pasta. Build a lighter, creamier sauce with a little Greek yogurt or a low-fat cream cheese. Add some veg and fiber to keep things satisfying. If you want tacos, great. Make sustainable swaps, little tiny things, they all add up. Use extra lean beef or pulled chicken and add your favorite toppings and wrap it up in a low-carb tortilla or lettuce cups. It's not about restriction. It's about reimagining your meals, keeping the flavors, the texture, and the comfort that you love, but making a few intentional swaps to work with your goals instead of against them. Here's what starts to happen when you do this. You stop feeling like you're missing out all the time. You feel empowered, not restricted. You don't get that FOMO when your friends are ordering takeout because you know you can make the version that takes. You don't get FOMO when your friends are ordering takeout because you know how you can make a version that tastes just as good at home. And you stop labeling food as good or bad. It just becomes neutral, just choices. And most importantly, you actually look forward to eating again. You get that excitement back. You start to enjoy the process. You feel like you're living in alignment, hitting your goals while still feeling like you. And that is the ultimate food freedom. And listen, food freedom isn't just about eating anything and everything whenever you feel like it. It's about knowing that your meals are satisfying, balanced, aligned with your goals, and something that you could genuinely eat for the rest of your life. Because when your meals taste good and support your progress, that is when it becomes sustainable. That is when you stop starting over every Monday and when it stops being a diet and starts becoming your lifestyle. So if you've been trying to force yourself into clean eating, but miserable meals, or you're feeling like you have to choose between flavor or fat loss, this is your permission slip to let that go. You don't need to give up your favorite foods. You just need a smarter way to make them work for you. Now, I know this is probably not what you're going to want to hear, but slowly is the fastest way to get to where you want to be. And I know that you wanted results yesterday. We all do. You start a fat loss phase and a part of you is already daydreaming about what you're going to look like in a few weeks and how your clothes will fit and how good it's going to feel when you finally see that scale drop. But let me tell you something, and I say this with love because I have lived it. Slowly is the fastest way to get to where you want to go. And I know that is hard to hear, especially when we live in a world that's constantly shouting, drop 5 kgs in 2 weeks, try this detox, lose belly fat fast. But the truth is, when you chase fast results, you usually end up going back in circles. You burn out, you lose the weight quickly, only to gain it back even faster. And I can put my hand up and say that absolutely happened to me, and I gained more back. And you fall into that all or nothing spiral when one slip up turns into a full-blown binge and suddenly you're right back at square one. Again, that also happened to me as well. And it is exhausting. And it chips away at your confidence, your energy, your self-control. And you start to believe that you just can't do it. When really the issue isn't you, it's the pace that you're trying to go. Because when you go slow, you take the time to actually learn your body, build habits that stick, and do it in a way that fits your real life. And that is where real change happens. You start showing up differently. You become more confident. You stop panicking every time your routine gets shaken up. You learn how to navigate weekends, cravings, social events, PMS, travel, stress, all of it, without feeling like you've ruined anything. And that is when you realize you're not just losing weight, you're building a lifestyle. One that's flexible, supportive, empowering, and one that doesn't rely on perfection but on consistency. Because anybody can follow a strict plan for 6 weeks, but what happens after that? Can you still keep going when the motivation fades? When life gets messy? If the answer is no, then fast isn't helping you. It's just keeping you stuck. I'd so much rather you take 6 months to get there slowly and sustainably and in a way that actually works for you then drop the weight quickly, only to spend the next 6 years chasing it back and starting over every single Monday. Slow is what builds the version of you who doesn't just reach her goals. She keeps them. And trust me, she is definitely worth waiting for. So my solution is realistic, sustainable fat loss. It's not cutting out everything you love. It's not being perfect 24/7. And it's definitely not living in this constant cycle of restrict, binge, guilt, repeat. The real solution, it's building a lifestyle you don't have to escape from. A lifestyle that supports your goals and lets you live fully. And here is what that actually looks like. A flexible calorie deficit. One that works with your preferences, not against them. You're not eating lettuce and boiled eggs all day. You're still having tacos, pasta, chocolate, your oat latte. It's not about cutting things out. It's about creating balance so you are consistently in a small calorie deficit without feeling deprived. Recreating meals from home instead of restricting them. We're making a high-protein pasta, burgers with sweet potato fries, nourishing bowls that taste like comfort food. You're learning to cook meals that feel indulgent but still align with your goals. We are now in 2025. There is a lower calorie or a swap for basically every single food, and it's all of these little things that add up. And you don't have to feel like you're ever missing out because you literally are not. I prefer to make my meals at home now. I prefer to eat a burger that I've made because in my taste, it's way better than anything that I would eat out. And it also leaves me feeling good afterwards. And it's all about learning how to make food work for you, not just following a random plan someone gave you. You understand what your body needs. You learn how to balance meals, navigate social events, handle cravings, and fuel your body in a way that feels good. This is about education, not just rules. Movement that you actually enjoy. Because forcing yourself to do a HIIT 5 times a week when you actually hate it is not the vibe. We find movement that fits your lifestyle, your energy levels, and your goals. That might be lifting, walking, running, Muay Thai, Pilates, whatever that actually looks like. Something needs to shift if you aren't enjoying it. Find something that you like and stick with it. And just because somebody next door is doing strength training doesn't mean that you have to. And most importantly, making it doable long term. No more starting again every week. No more panicking after one meal out. This is the way of eating, moving, and living that actually fits your lifestyle, your social life, and your body, and your mindset. Not just for the next 4 weeks, but for the next 40 years. This is what I coach, and this is what I live, and this is what works. You don't need another quick fix, and you don't need to suffer your way to results. You just need an approach that allows you to feel good now and later, where you're still progressing, you're still enjoying food, and actually building habits that you can stick with for life. Because this is how you stop dieting. This is how you take your power back. And this is how you create results that actually last. So the bottom line is, if you're sitting here thinking, why haven't I been able to stick to anything? I want you to hear this. There's nothing wrong with you. You've just been following plans that were never designed to work long term. Let's throw that all out. Let's build something that actually fits your life. Let's eat carbs, go out for dinner, hit our goals, and feel amazing about doing it. So if this episode resonated with you, if you've been stuck in that all or nothing mindset, or feeling like no matter what you try, it never really lasts, I want you to know that you're actually not alone, because so many women are in the same place. And it's not because you're doing anything wrong. It's just because you've been taught the wrong approach, one that's rigid, joyless, and unsustainable. But you don't have to stay stuck there. So if this sparks something in you, if you felt seen or had a little moment of, wait, maybe it doesn't have to be this hard, please share this with somebody you love, send it to your bestie, post it on your stories, or just use it as a reminder that you can do this differently, that you deserve to feel good in a body and in your life. And if you're ready to take the next step, if you're tired of guessing, tired of starting over, tired of doing this alone, my one-on-one coaching is open and I would love to support you. We'll build something that's tailored to your lifestyle, your goals, and your favorite foods. And we'll do it in a way that actually feels grounded, empowering, and long-term. So the link is in the show notes. And if you want to chat about working together, just flick me a DM on Instagram. It's just Brittany McChrystal. I'm so proud of you for being here, for learning, for questioning the old ways, and for choosing something better. And until next time, go and eat those carbs and be kind to yourself. And remember, you've got this one day at a time, and you are allowed to go slow. You're allowed to enjoy it, and you're doing so much better than you actually think. I will see you in the next episode.